Welcome, everyone, to Total Nonstop Impact Talk for Impact fans, featured right here on the TNI Network. This is Trent Law, my co-host, J-Bone Bill, and Uncle Mark. This is Time Machine Tuesday, going back in the time machine, all the way back to Nashville, Tennessee, October 29, 2003, for NWA-TNA number 68. Gentlemen, how's it going? We got some hot chicken in Nashville today. What are we doing in 2003 Nashville today, huh? At the Asylum. All sorts of whackiness going. What's going on, boys?
Oh, yeah, it's the Halloween episode, it looks like.
It is. There's pumpkins with a TNA logo, which I think Bill might have bid on. I'm going to guess. Bill, if there was an auction for these, if there was an auction for the TNA pumpkins that were preserved so they wouldn't rot, would they have been auctioned? Look at you have a D-Lo bobblehead that's advertised on this episode.
Wow.
Where did you get that?
What the hell?
Are you down?
Are you down? Where did you get that?
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, I might have a source.
That is a rare. Now, okay, wait. That's a rare piece because on this very episode, they were advertising merchandise for the first time, really pushing it.
The first Don West push.
It was.
I was waiting for the brown bag special, the first 3 DVDs.
Mm-hmm. They were really pushing the CDs, volume 1 and 2 of the CDs, the D-Lo doll or bobblehead, and the 3 DVDs and a couple T-shirts. Wacky, Bill. That is legit considered the first TNA action figure, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
I think they called it an action figure in the episode.
Having a D-Lo bobblehead is the most fitting bobblehead ever.
It really is.
That's the bobblehead to have. That's the bobblehead of all bobbleheads.
But he's not even around anymore. I mean, was he just gone for a little bit? Does he come back? I don't even know. I'd have to check the
I do know he comes back because
he does.
He does eventually have a tag team title reign later on, and then he has an NWA tag. Now, I'm not gonna spoil it for you on who his partner is.
Oh no, that's fine.
Yeah, but he does come back.
Okay, it's Doink.
It's not Doink.
It's Doink.
It's
I was gonna say, as long as it's not Sandman.
No, it's not Sandman.
Tell me it's not Sandman. No,
I think
tell me it's not Sandman.
We've seen the last of Sandman for a while, right?
I think Sandman is gone until
they do that reformation. Yeah.
I think so. I think he's gone at this point. Sandman's an interesting one because he's extremely well off outside of wrestling in the construction industry. Bill, you might know about this. He's a Philly guy. He owns a bunch of strip malls in the Philly area. He's a big real estate guy, which is you wouldn't expect it, but he's they said that he'd be funny. The Sandman is he'd be wasted drinking, but he'd be in the locker room in the corner, reading the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal, before his show.
He even showed up in the Jordan, The Last Dance. Remember?
He did, yeah. I mean, he was a baller, man. The Sandman had money.
He's Mr. Random. He's the Forrest Gump of wrestlers.
Break that down for Mark, Bill. Tell where he was in that Jordan documentary.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
He shows up in the locker room during one of the championship celebrations.
Number 6, a final
number 6.
Yeah,
what?
Yeah. It's all of a sudden Sandman's in the locker room celebrating with the team.
What the hell?
Just super Sandman and his kid are in the Bulls locker room, and they're just
that's awesome.
How does that happen?
The hell?
How Sandman they won it in Salt Lake City. How are they in Salt Lake?
Now, I don't know if it's a Rodman connection at that point.
But where? Sandman and Rodman would have crossed paths in WCW during the hack.
Maybe during the hack days. That's all I can.
I just can't imagine they were that close though. It was they really hit it off.
Yeah. Well, wrestling's a weird fucking place, man.
He's the original party animal. Forget Spuds McKenzie.
That's true.
Sandman.
That is true. That is true.
I think the Worm is a partier as well. So
yeah,
they would hit it off.
Big Worm? What's up, Big Worm?
Big Worm, man. Big Worm. Good times. That was great. The 90s were a great time to be a Chicagoan, man. The Bulls in the 90s.
Rockets in the 90s.
That too. The mid-90s, it was all about the Rockets. Stealing us from New York.
Anytime Jordan decided he didn't want to play, he needed a year of maintenance. Akeem the Dream, he won a title.
I give it
one of the greatest centers of all time, man.
I give it to Olajuwon's first championship. He won it during Ramadan. He was fasting.
Yeah.
The guy was fasting. No water, no Gatorade, nothing to eat, and they won the championship on that. And I remember he Like
that was the 7-game one too. That was the long one.
The long one, dude. He fasted through all those. Can you imagine
and
that?
he was banging with Ewing down in the paint that whole series. Man, not eating, not drinking. That was huge. That was our first championship ever in this city. We ain't never won shit. And then we didn't win shit again for 20 more years. Or another 10 years, I guess it was.
Well, it's not normal, but after a comment like that, there is only one soundbite fitting.
Yeah, one night, and then I quit the business for 18 years.
That's pretty fitting. That is pretty fitting. But guys,
a couple looks from TNA. I thought he was about to say that.
I love a good Mike TNA dirty look. Now I got compared when I did my commentary on Friday. I got interrupted during the show open by La Sociedad Boricua, also known as the Ricos, but don't call them the Ricos. They get upset. But they interrupted.
I'm gonna fucking call them the Ricos.
Call them the Ricos because they hate it. But they interrupted me, and I gave a very TNA like, and like our camera guy texted me the next day, my buddy Rob, who made our intro, and he texted me and he's like, man, I was watching it back and I saw your frustrated face when they interrupted you, and all I could think was, all right, Mike TNA.
Throw those angry TNA faces up.
I did a Mike TNA like, come on. It was great though. But no, TNA had a couple of those in this show too.
Well, I think Trent, did you actually say this?
You can take this microphone and shove it up your ass.
They kind of said that to me about this, get out of our ring, and I gave the TNA face, and I was like, all
right. I'm just glad you didn't get roughed up on your first big, your first big debut on commentary. You didn't get roughed up by Los Ricos.
Los Ricos. That was a fun experience, gentlemen. I really, really had a good time doing that. I'll talk more about it Thursday, because there'll be more of the Impact talent we'll talk about on Thursday. I'll tie it in a little bit more on Thursday, but Jake did come to my rescue that day. I'm gonna say that he did come to he was the Avenger and took those two out as we saw the show.
We'll talk about this for about 2 more seconds and then we'll continue. But it's one thing that just popped in my head. I'm like, okay, if they don't like them, calling the Rico brothers. Because one is Rico last name, the other one is
Suave.
Something Rico.
It's Axel Rico and Rico de la Vega.
Okay,
Rico.
I gotta write that down sometime because I always try
Let's
to catch
call the Ricos.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm gonna wait till they're there for a while and they really start getting a push. Although I feel like this is already a push because it's got to lead to something, right?
Yeah, I'm sure it'll lead to something for sure.
I'm gonna pop when like they take off their gear and they're wearing T-shirts underneath that says Rico 1 and Rico 2.
I should
they'll kill me. Like I'll bring a friend and be like, I'm here for Rico 1. Oh, I'm here for Rico 2.
Fun experience though, definitely. I'd love to do it again, to be honest. So if you didn't,
that reminds me, there is a tag team. I haven't seen them lately. I don't know if they've been working during the pandemic, but it was Jose and Hose B.
That's fucking stupid, but amazing. That's amazing.
Jeez.
I find that so dumb but amazing at the same time.
Right?
I love it.
I hope it's not a one. I hope you were so good. I hope to God they may. I mean, I don't really know anything about Tyler, but I hope I don't want anybody to lose a job by any means. But if they make it a 3-man booth.
Hey, Tyler, I there's rumors.
It ain't no secret. I need a job.
Poor Tyler. We're gonna see what happens. I'm not sure if he's at the next one either. I don't know. We'll see. But
you said you did the pre-show, which is the next episode, right?
Yes, I did the that was kind of my warm-up. So it's funny that I did the pre-show, which aired before Take No Prisoners, but that's going to air after Take No Prisoners. So I might be getting myself together for that one, right? And so it was interesting just to I got thrown right in, but I tell you what, it is an absolute art to do commentary. Joe Dombrowski, who's like a Morrow type commentator, he had his cues, man. That guy it's an art. So
he's good.
He's real good, man. He's really good. So Big Arcade, thanks for the bits, much appreciated, brother. And
hey, if he wants a throwback, bite.
Yeah, we got to get some throwback bites in there. We really got.
We need more throwback bites. I tend to go through the throwback bites quick.
Yeah,
I'll start working on that.
We also need to get some guests. We have a lot. Oh shit! I forgot to send the link to
you were supposed to. Weren't you supposed to have a guest today?
Yes.
Mark had a tie-in.
Wait. I think we know why.
Oh, actually, no. It was a different reason. But
no,
that's a great guest. Though,
play that reason. Though. Play that.
This is the good stuff.
We were gonna have it was an indie pro. We're gonna plug a show, but
I'll get back with him. I'll get back and
connect back.
Yeah,
but guys, let's jump into it. Everything else good with you guys? I'll talk more on Thursday about the Impact time to take no prisoners. So, but how's things going, gentlemen? Anything new going on? Bill, the world's opening up. I'm sure you got tickets to everything now at this point. The ticket master.
Some here and there. There's I am starting to see still mainly the promotions have been running. Like I already had tickets to the MLW show in Philly that's kicking off in July, so I still have those. But there is, I know, since last time on the news, we know down south is touring in July now, down in Texas and Florida. So it feels like July. Always felt like that time. We've been saying it for a couple months here.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean Impact, the former TNA, is going to do that. We'll see. You would think there's a strong chance, but who knows? Because I guess like the ones we're looking at now, because I assume up north will definitely be running in some capacity and locations. So I think it's Impact and Ring of Honor will be. Well, what do they do?
I think it wouldn't be. Well, I might go ahead, Mark. You go ahead. You get your thoughts.
I was just saying goodbye to Hakeem.
Oh, okay. And thank you, Erik, for the bit as well. I think Impact might dip the toe in the water at a different location, limited capacity. I'm starting to think they might do that thing with Georgia, with the with their buddies there.
They were scouting that out a long time ago.
I think they might do it.
But then stuff went up. Like obviously the stuff got out of control. But they were looking all the way back then. So they were looking early. Like I think they wanted to go back in front of fans.
I think so.
But now it seems like they're, I don't know.
I think they're ready.
They feel a little gun shy. And I'm not sure if there's another reason for it, but they might be the last to come back. So we'll see. Could be.
I think it's time to start doing it. If indies are doing it.
Yeah, indies have been doing it, but now like when MLW does it, when AEW, who they're working with,
a lot of pressure on them.
Then now the pressure's kind of building. If Ring of Honor announces before they do, that will be something, because they did the bubble. Like if you want to say who's been the most cautious, it's Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor goes in front of fans before Impact. I don't know. It almost feels like old Impact Zone. Is this the cost cutting measure? I
heard Ring of Honor was even like making people quarantine. Prior,
they did a bubble like the NBA did. They actually did a bubble. Like you got to come in early, do all the stuff, stay there. So that's like full, not messing around there.
Yeah, that they I gotta say, Ring of Honor the only breakout they had was EC3, but that's because he was a late addition to their roster, and he's all over the place and then everything, doing everything. But
once again, but then they found it, and
they found it. Yeah, nobody else got it. Very transparent too with those guys, and I got to give it to Ring of Honor. They played a very safe game this time.
Yeah, and Impact played a pretty safe game too. Like they're probably right after Ring of Honor in playing it safe. But that's the whole thing. It's obviously they know what the production and all is right now. Yeah, going back in front of a crowd, like you're talking Georgia, the venue I was at. That's sort of outdoors, sort of not. How's that look on TV? That they got a lot of things.
Dress it up.
And dressing it up costs money.
Yeah, I mean, it's
a
big expenditure.
Limited capacity.
Exactly. That's my thought. It might just be until they know they can at least break even.
Yeah, because remember, they were selling out the venues they were going to before it all shut down. Like they were doing very well.
The crowds were growing.
Yeah. So
we'll get back to it, guys. Look at Armand saying the Kenny King got it too, but again, they bubbled it and they isolated everything. So they played it safe, man. But
they've done a good job.
Yeah. Well, let's get into it, boys. Let's go back in time. Let's forget about the current. Let's go back to a time when there were no masks.
Wait.
Yeah. Yes, dude. There was no masks in 2003. There was no limitations.
No, there were plenty of masks tonight.
Oh, they're playing. Yeah, tonight there were tonight, but there were no little stickers on the ground where you had to stand apart from people. There was no capacity limits on the doors of stores. This was a different time.
This place was packed.
This place is packed. Well, because they're all thinking Hogan's going to be there this week.
You got the big Hollywood Hogan over the guardrail.
They really fucked.
They lead so far into this.
They spent 40% of this night a dead crowd because they were pumped for something they never got. Let down after let down today. Dude, I know. To watch it now, it's like, man,
there's only one guy that could explain what was going on.
Good for you.
That asshole can't explain shit.
Well, that's what it felt like. It was one of those nights for the crowd. Good for you, dude.
All right, let's jump in, guys. October 29th, 2003, NWA-TNA number 68. Now, it's a Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's a Wednesday night. Now, I was on Dave's couch, forking over my $5, my half of the $9.99. And I got a pizza. It's fall. Got a pizza. It's around Halloween time, right before Halloween. There's probably already candy at Dave's house in the bowl, so we're eating the candy already.
What kind of candy?
He had good stuff. Dave lived in the burbs. Suburban houses went with the full, bars. Not full bars, but they went with the all chocolate bars, man. They had good shit. Dave's house, they didn't skimp on stuff. They were a generous household. Old school Italian. They like to feed you. You know what I mean? So they fed us. So we had a lot of candy. I mean, you had everything from a whatchamacallit to a Mars, man. Everything was in that bowl. So I had
Mr. Good Bar?
Everything. You name it. I mean, even a zero bar was in there. Who even buys zero? Somebody buys zero. But yeah, we were watching this. Bill, October 29th, 03. This is Halloween now. It's Wednesday before Halloween would have been a Friday night on this year, which is
that's a big one. That's a big one. A Friday.
I know exactly where I was.
You know exactly where you are. We're gonna get to you. Let's see what Bill's got.
Let's see. So this is the Wednesday before
03 Halloween.
03 Halloween. Ooh, Wednesday. That definitely does feel like a Halloween activity.
Maybe a haunted trail, haunted house.
It could be. It could be. I'm thinking it very well could have been Eastern State Penitentiary.
Ooh,
classic prison. It's the same prison they filmed 12 Monkeys in.
No shit.
It's where like Al Capone was for a while. Like it's one of the early prisons in the U.S. in the Philly area that they do up in the terror behind the walls, they call it. And I feel like that week of Halloween, that Wednesday probably would have been a good night. It wouldn't have been like the extra cost of going on Halloween night on Friday.
Right. Less rush. Yep.
So I have a feeling that would have been the night. And usually after the Halloween festivities, years later, I did some more stuff on Halloween. But the only thing maybe on a Halloween night, maybe a midnight Rocky Horror or something on Halloween.
Oh,
but
nice.
Other than that, I would think the days previous. So good chance of that.
All right, nice.
A couple years later, I started doing the theme parks during their Halloween.
Fright Fest, Six Flags. J-Bo, you know about that.
Exactly. Like I don't think I did that in 03, but I'm thinking like 04, 05. That's probably where I was.
Fright Nights here. Fright Night was awesome.
Between my place and J-Bone's place at Six Flags, literally on the border between us. And they do an amazing Fright Fest during the Halloween. But
I did Fright Fest once there, and it was crazy good. Like
so
during the day it was boring, but when it started getting dark,
well, during the day, that's like the kid version, J-Bone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they even tell you they're like at 6 o'clock the ghouls come out, and they're like they all of a sudden this fog just comes out of nowhere, and it's like a bunch of fucking freaks just running around. It's great. But Mark knows exactly where he was.
I do. I was Wednesday before Halloween 2003. So every Halloween, my friend Mike used to throw, before he was like married with kids and stuff, would throw a Halloween party that got progressively larger and larger.
I was really hoping he was going to say swingers party, but go ahead.
No, eventually having to be moved into a ballroom and having joint promoters for this Halloween party and having admission and stuff. But at this time, it was still the early days. So I remember on Wednesday.
Party.
Oh, we partied.
Kind of key party. There you go.
We partied. No, it wasn't one of those parties. But so that Wednesday we went to Numbers, the club here in Houston, because we weren't going to be able to go on Fridays because that Friday was the party. And I remember that year there was a second party on Saturday because Halloween was on a Friday, and his brother also threw a party on Saturday. So it was a really busy week. I probably didn't see this show originally, would be my guess.
Wait, is Numbers still open?
Mm-hmm. It's 1 year younger than me.
I can't wait to go to Houston and I want to go to Numbers.
Reopens next Friday.
And I want to see him in all his youth glory, like living it up, just getting fucked up at Numbers,
doing lines off of naked chicks in the bathroom.
What the fuck? This sounds amazing.
Numbers is the place. If you're from Houston, shout out Numbers.
And J-Bone, I'm going to assume J-Bone was under a mask, probably either holding up a checkers or stealing candy from a child who was early trick or treating.
I was probably stealing candy out of my stepdaughter's baskets.
Look at that! What a role model! Great job, J-Bone.
You've stepped over the line now. You've taken it too far.
That guy plays into today's episode too.
Yeah,
talk about that. Yeah. Well, let's jump in, boys.
We'll talk about it later. But now I'm thinking, Joey here. If he's from Jersey, he might come into play during this episode.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Oh,
For
man.
a second, I thought he was going to say Tread from Chicago.
What's Penzer?
David Penzer taking
back
a
here.
dig. Into the chat, guns blazing.
Pull that comment up by Mr. Penzer here. Let's see what he's saying here. Guys, no, I love you, but are we really living our youth on Halloween? You must really miss around the ring. First off, we do miss around the ring.
Yes, we do.
Yes,
that's for sure.
Absolutely.
And also, we love Halloween because we're a bunch of theme park nuts, and here, so we definitely love Halloween. Look at that. Look at that, Penzer. He's got a D-Lo bobble. I don't think D-Lo even has his own bobblehead. The Bill's got it in his house. But yeah, David, I'm still gonna get you on the show again. You're gonna spill all the beans about this Hogan and Jarrett thing one day. You get the clear. I gotta get him on the show.
After listening to Jarrett on Van Vliet this earlier today, I realized why Mr. Penzer can't say anything. Jarrett was the same thing. He was like, I can't say anything. I can't talk about that. I gotta say, well, we got that. Comrade's got that coming up.
Is Jarrett gone from WWE? Like, is he able to do all or did he work into his contract that he can talk about all this shit?
I think he's on a Legends contract, and those things are.
He's an agent.
Yeah, like you can do all the. I don't know if he's that.
I thought he was an agent over there.
Yeah, he was basically doing the same thing as Dutt and this.
They all went as like this agent group over there, unless he modified it because. I mean, like their guys never appear on Van Vliet normally. Their people don't appear on Van Vliet. That was a
appear on the network.
So how the hell can you be on a podcast behind a paywall?
That's not there.
And still, that completely goes 1,000% against all the shit that just happened in the WWE. Can't be on Twitch. Can't be on YouTube.
Right.
Can't get paid for this. Can't get paid for that.
Jarrett's got the stroke.
He must have modified his deal or something. I'm assuming that's what happened.
He's slap nuts. Oh, he's slap nuts.
I will tell you this. That it's like 35 minutes, that Van Vliet interview. It is. I am super hyped for Jarrett's podcast now. Just think all the early TNA stuff is all the stuff he's holding close to the chest, and it's all for his podcast. So it's just going to be a glut of early TNA stories.
I mean, it'll be fun for us.
It's going to be so great. I can't wait for it.
He'll probably talk about this very story, right? He'll probably talk about this Hogan.
Oh yeah, well,
Hogan
on
thing.
the network or the used to be network, they don't talk about that anyway. So they don't want any of those stories. Remember, it doesn't exist. Sting was gone for 14 years.
Yeah, exactly.
He was on sabbatical, and Booker T, he went nowhere after he left.
Ridiculous. But let's jump in, guys. I gotta get the bell ready because there's a lot of Scott Hudson on this show. Here we go, guys. We opened the show, Bill, with Scott Hudson. Scott Hudson is the first face you see with Jimmy Hart outside of the Impact Zone there, the Asylum, I should say. Sorry,
the beginning of the long tease.
That's right. It starts at minute.
Is this considered wrestling edging?
Yes, it is. And this is still when like the limo and Hummer thing was still like the thing. Like, who's in the limo? Who's in the Hummer?
Am
This
I
was
alone that it was awesome though, and I would love to see a return to that?
I would not mind it because the anticipation is always great. But you also had a hand from Sammy, the limo driver. He's like, Sammy, who's in the? He's like, I ain't talking. Sammy's like, something, you know. But like,
Trent just warped into another dimension.
He did.
What the hell?
What
Yeah,
happened?
you were like,
feud.
it was
You
like,
froze.
and
You froze
then
for
you
a
were
couple
back.
seconds.
Oh, I did. Oh shit,
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, you went to another dimension.
Oh, okay. Well, I was talking about Sammy, the limo driver. That's what I was talking about.
Oh,
But,
we
you
caught
that
something.
fast.
We caught something about a horse and a centipede. So
No.
start there. Start there again.
No, but Sammy was like, I ain't talking, you know, and like Sammy wouldn't reveal it. And then Jimmy Hart discusses, this is interesting. He discusses all the press that the beatdown got in New Japan, like all the newspapers.
That was on ESPN.
It was. I'm trying to. What I want to emphasize to everybody, it was a big deal when this happened. It gets hidden a lot from people because it's almost 20 years ago. But
the payoff was nil.
But that's why. That's why they don't really. You're right, because that's why they bury it, because nothing happened. But the press this got was big at the time. I remember it was on ESPN. It was on Sports Center. It was on major shit in Japan. Like this was a huge thing. So Jimmy Hart's talking about it, and they're teasing the surprise. Who's in the limo? Who's in the limo, Jeff? And then he, but I did notice he calls it total nonstop wrestling at this point. Did you guys catch that?
It's close enough, Jimmy.
It is.
Close enough, Jimmy.
What does the marquee say? Total nonstop wrestling. I'm like,
I don't think there was a marquee out there either.
Why couldn't he have flubbed it into total nonstop impact?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, come on.
That would have been nice. That would have been real nice.
We still don't have that clip, by the way.
That'd be a hell of a soundbite.
It would happen, right? We did find it.
Yeah, Watts,
shows
wasn't
back.
it? Was it Watts?
Yeah,
It was
Watts
Watts. Watts says it.
Watts.
I think it's in my notes where we can.
It's in my
actually
notes.
find.
It's in my notes.
Do you know what number show it is then?
No, but I could go back and dig through my notes and find it. It's in the 50s.
Okay, find the show and let's pull that clip for sure.
Yeah,
But,
we don't want to let that get lost forever. It's been long enough.
Yeah.
I can't believe none of our
don't be lost
listeners.
like his current storyline.
Yeah, poor Watts.
Dude, Watts is
I feel for Watts. This whole storyline's like, yeesh.
You know what? I've been shitting on how his characters had a bad turn. It's not his fault. He's in a really shitty spot.
Not at
right
all.
now.
He tries hard. I'm not going to take anything away from Watts here. Whatever he's been given, he's trying hard. It's but he's. I mean, it's a dead storyline what he's been given at this point.
Yeah.
New cage dancers at this point here.
Yes. Well, at first, I totally forgot it was Halloween.
Oh,
and I'm like, what are we doing here?
But I want to go to J-Bone because I feel like J-Bone really focused on this segment here. J-Bone, what you think of cage dancers, new outfits? What you think about this?
My monitor broke. It was frozen for like a half hour.
Bill's just sitting there waiting with the AJ.
AJ was on the show.
Bill's got his hand on AJ the whole time. Wait.
At first, I was like, what are they wearing? Then I'm like, oh, it's Halloween. I didn't catch it at first.
No, at first, I'm like, they don't care anymore.
No.
We're going all in with the cage dancers.
Oh, they were letting it all hang out, man. It was great.
I was like, man, those shorts are going all the way up there. Oh,
I like pirates.
Oh, wait a second. Hold a second.
Penzer's got a question here. For David Penzer, we'll stop the show. David Penzer, what is your question? Type fast, Dave. I can't have dead air on here, David. You got to type quick now. Come on. I can't stall for that long. I mean, I can only do some. J-Bone, maybe maximize J-Bone's face distraction.
Yeah.
There we go. J-Bone, be pretty for the camera here. All right, what's your question there, Penzer? Come on. What do we got? You give me too much dead air, David.
We're waiting. With, what's the term? Bated breath?
Bated breath. We're waiting with bated breath.
Bated breath.
But either way, the cage dancers look fantastic. A lot of bated breath here, David. You're killing us.
Kudos. Now, was there a new cage dancer as well?
There was.
Yes.
I thought both of them looked new, right?
They both. The one for sure looked new.
One was totally new.
I think the one in the right cage is still Amber, if I'm not mistaken.
But
I'd have to go back and watch.
Are we talking about the pirate?
There's a name, Jay.
The angel.
The pirate.
You went so far as to know what they were dressed up as? Oh, well, look at this. Bill, he's getting a little personal here now. David, he's getting a little personal with you here. He's asking, What does Bill do for a living so he can travel over the country? Bill, I want you to make up the best lie you can.
No,
Like,
I cannot tell a lie.
It involves cocaine and strippers' butts.
a lot of cocaine. A lot of cocaine. What do you think is on those pockets in the Moose Vest there? But go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead.
What am I, Herbie?
Herbie, Uncle Herb.
Uncle Herb?
I'll let you go as far as you want with this answer, Bill.
Yes, I sell lighting. I sell lighting for a distributor, but I won't say that's the most luxurious job in the world. I have been there a long time though, so I do have days that I'm able to use. I haven't had to use as many because I'm not traveling as much, obviously. But so far the like a lot of weekends, which are local. Luckily, I'm in the Northeast, hotbed of wrestling, so I usually can travel, and it does center me for the like the old touring schedule. I was able to drive most places up in Canada. There you go. Thank you, Zach. That sounds like a much better answer. Oh, you're muted. You're muted, Trent.
I'll say you're a Hojo's correspondent. That sounds great. Actually, that would have been fantastic.
But I used to go down to the Impact Zone down in Florida a couple times a year with my vacation days. It's usually not that bad of a flight down to Florida. Obviously, during the pandemic, the travel that I have done, it's been very cheap. If you're willing to roll the dice like I was.
You could take your work with you, right? You just took your laptop with you and work days, right? That's what you did too, yeah.
And that's the thing, yeah. During the day, I'm working, and then I'm going to the show at night. And then I take like a late night flight normally for my travel. So it works out pretty good. But it's and then obviously as stuff gets more back to normal, I'll be driving out to more shows.
Plus, you also would do a lot of them on like a long weekend, so you wouldn't have to use too many days. You do it on like leave early on a Friday, come back on a Monday. And honestly,
the new schedule that Impact kind of adopted, because when I used to go a couple times a year, they used to do they would do 7-8 days of tapings. Oh. So I'm like, okay, I'll go to 3 of those a year and get my fill. But now they do them usually over a weekend and maybe a day. So then I only really need to take like a day.
Yeah. Got it.
And you know me, like after the shows on a pay-per-view night or something, I'll just drive straight home for
just drove
12
Nashville
hours.
from the asylum. I saw this guy leave the asylum after a hot homecoming and drove right home. It was nuts. I mean, yeah, you'll put the road miles in, Bill. You'll definitely put your time in on the road, no question about it. So there's your answer. And that answers also for everybody who asks on the Facebook groups too, by the way. It's just everybody who's asking.
I know I'm a little older and I don't know all the hip terminology, but lighting salesman is code for
laser cowboy.
It's code for
it is, and the distribution is what? No, I'm kidding.
You should be in jail.
Yes.
I love that one. I forget about that one. That was
great. Seeing the Pens in person.
You guys have to hang out in person in Tampa a little bit?
Yeah. He started as the announcer for Spring Break with the collective down in Tampa.
Okay. Nice.
So
nice.
Good to see. Actually, I did see David Penzer even earlier down in Florida when I went to the NAWA. He was the ring announcer in December. Johnny Swinger was on that show.
Did David have all of his gold chains on? He wears a lot of gold chains just to let you know who's boss when he's ring announcing. Like I'm talking Mr. T levels. Was he wearing all the gold chains or was it a little too out?
Not that I know.
Okay. Yeah, Dave, you got to put up on your gold chains and back when you're back to TV. Let them know who's boss, like who's really in charge.
Wait. Now we have David Penzer here. We should ask what happened on this past Thursday's Impact with El Fantasma.
Oh yeah,
that's right. He said he said he wasn't too mad at him for what
he wasn't too mad at him.
He said
I can only imagine what's going to happen over the coming weeks. I feel El Fantasma is not going to be done with him.
Maybe
ELP Penzer feud.
Maybe El Fantasma will be like remember what Jordan used to do with Marv Albert with the powder And like every time he put the powder in, he'd go by to clap his powder, and it would be like a running joke with Marv Albert and stuff.
Yeah,
maybe that's what he'll do. Like he'll do a thing with Pens every time he comes out. He'll do a little.
I'll be focused on that.
All right, we'll watch
his next contest. See what happens there.
Just get that gold chain back on there. All the gold chains, just Mr. T levels of gold chain.
Or go platinum so you can be platinum Pens.
Hey, platinum Pens. I like it. All right, let's get.
Or he might stand up for himself like TNA did in this episode.
TNA, I do love.
Jeff Jarrett's about to slap him upside the head.
I do love the side comments from like after TNA said something and Jared's like, "You really are getting on my nerves today." like remember last week he's like TNA, don't you mouth off to me tonight? Like it's like under his breath almost. Like it almost feels like he's really upset. He's like, "You better watch yourself today." There's one on here. We go right to a match from here. Glen Gilberti and David Young taking on America's Most Wanted, James Storm and Chris Harris. Glen is berating Young throughout this entire thing. It's like total whipping boy. I the endearingness of David Young is just funny to me at this point. But the reffing is awful in this match.
Dude, Andrew Thomas is.
What happened here?
He's staring and literally letting any fucking thing happen that they want to happen.
And the reason I've caught it, because we always point out the refs and their stuff, but you could tell it's so bad when TNA and West are covering for this. Did any of you catch this? They're trying to cover for the bad referee.
Dude, West tried to call. I wrote that down. West calls the legal man out because Thomas has no idea.
He totally messes up. Like that whole finishing sequence was a disaster.
Man, it was a total disaster.
Oh my God. Like I said, West and TNA are trying to cover it. It got to that point.
Yeah, but we might need Nurse Nicole here, Trent.
What do we got here? What's going on?
David Pens are just burning names over here.
What came to the end? The one. But David, look, they're asking for you to be on. Come on, David. You know, he came on. He didn't do video. He said he just had a couple. He was relaxing. He was shirtless and by the pool. He didn't want to come on the show with the camera on. And so he said, David, you owe us another appearance. David, come on, get on the show and spill some backstage.
Well, it sounds like if Jeff Jarrett's there and he'll just say, I can't answer that. Go in another direction.
That don't work for me, brother.
We're semi-professionals here.
We need poolside Penzer.
Poolside Penzer. David, get by the pool, get the bourbon, and just spill it all, man. Let it all go.
Bring up Double J, get him on the horn too. Have him sit in. We'll ask him a couple of questions about the
God damn it, Penzer, don't you say a word to those fucking marks. That sentence for the win. AMW gets it.
He would if he ever saw the show because we bury Jeff Jarrett every week.
No, not every week. No, we're fair. We are fair to Jarrett. I gotta say,
it's lovingly.
We are very fair with Jarrett. Like when it's too much, we'll say it. When it's not, when he
it
was
all
on,
depends in the course of an episode.
There's
episodes that are fine with Jeff Jarrett. They're obviously a big part of this whole era.
There's pods who blindly bury him. We don't do that. That's not at all. Not at all.
But that can happen with anything. But it is like it with anybody. That's the Scott Hudson bell. When you get too much of anything, it gets the bell.
It's the bell.
Great. Never too much Trinity. Can we get more?
Man. Trinity, my God, she's on the show. Harris gets on the mic and says next week they want their title shot against Simon and Swinger at this point. Back to Scott Hudson. He is all over this episode. He's with Michael Shane, who Michael Shane upset Mark. And we're gonna start with Mark on the Michael Shane match and let him go off, guys, because he was texting me about this one. Michael Shane talks about Sonjay getting a match. Thinks he doesn't deserve it, so he's gonna make it a non-title. And he says, well, how about
since when does Michael Shane call the shots?
I know. He calls the shot.
Everybody calls the shots on this episode.
But this is Michael Shane. He's literally Jack fucking nobody.
Yeah,
well,
and he's
the X Division champion, and he has the trophy.
And go ahead, Mark. Go ahead.
He shouldn't be the X Division champion because he can't fucking wrestle.
We'll talk about that in the match. He also dictates that there's no competition, so there should be an X Division Invitational starting next week. So
is this the official heel turn of Michael Shane?
Yeah, because he also teases his advisor has been giving him things. So I'm guessing this is Shane Douglas. I'm guessing the advisor thing is Shane and the new franchise he's talking. I'm guessing this is. I don't remember. I'm trying to remember back. So I'm guessing it's the Shane Douglas thing. But I see David Penzer is very receptive to poolside Penzer, and I think that needs to happen. David, get by the pool, get the scotch.
Yeah, if
bourbon,
he
whatever
doesn't
you're
do it
drinking up.
himself, Zach Bonifer will make a picture of him poolside.
Yes.
Oh man.
If he doesn't do it himself.
Music has to be New Shoes. I can't wait, Zach. That's got to be the background music for it. The album was called Poolside. So
the meme is coming.
It's coming. So then we go to the match. Michael Shane against Sonjay Dutt. This is Sanjay's second match.
Oh, wait.
Or third.
Singles.
Michael Shane says in the interview with Hudson, talks about someone advising him.
That's what I was saying. I think it's Shane Douglas. That's my
starting to put the little things together here.
Yeah. I'm guessing that this is the Shane Douglas connection. Maybe.
Circle of Shanes.
I think so. I think it's a circle of Shanes. All right, so we got Sanjay's second singles, third match in the company at this point. 21 years old right now, Sonjay. Now, Mark was very vocal about this one, so I'm going to let you go off on this one, Mark.
21 years old, 3 matches in, and absolutely being asked to carry Michael Shane through this match. Sonjay Dutt's back hurts so bad from carrying Michael Shane for 12 fucking minutes that the crowd is booing Shane. It's like a fucking crypt in there in the middle of this match because it's all Sonjay offense. It's all Sonjay offense. Shane is doing nothing. Punches and kicks only. There's like no chemistry.
He didn't do anything. You're right.
He didn't do anything. He did no wrestling moves whatsoever. Punches and kicks only.
Well, we got to go over. We went over this early. Why was Michael Shane kind of over with everyone early?
Tag matches, 3 ways.
3 ways, but also what did he do a lot?
He didn't do a lot.
He bled.
Point. He bled.
Oh, you're right. He did bleed a lot. He bled a lot. Okay,
he hasn't bled.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. And he's been in solo matches now where he's getting
solo matches and no bleeding.
Yeah, so he almost even there's a point where Sonjay does a senton over the top and Shane almost misses the catch. It's a really, really rough landing for Sonjay. Even at the end, Shane wins via roll. This whole thing to me made Michael Shane look awful.
Go ahead, Jay.
The roll up was hilarious because he rolled them up and held the tights or his pants right in front of it was Posey, right?
Yeah,
it was Posey on this one. Yeah,
Posey he's literally okay. Say you guys are the 2 wrestling. Here's Posey. 1, 2, 3. Completely turned around. Did not even look at them unpurposely, so he could say, "Oh, well, I didn't see it."
Well, that's been a trend. That's been a trend lately.
Oh my!
They're not even trying. They're that's now direction is look away.
Yes,
and just keep looking away,
or look right at it,
or look right at it.
It doesn't matter. Like, God, I know you're just saying, is it Posey? Because I can't remember. It doesn't matter. Does it matter who's reffing these matches?
Yeah, they're all kind of doing the same thing. Now.
Yeah,
it's mind-boggling. I mean, I cannot believe they're not reaming these refs like backstage. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
I don't think this is podcast protected material. If David Penzer knows who was directing the officials,
I'd be curious who was in charge of referees.
Or was no one directing?
Or was nobody directing them? Clearly, I don't know, man. Blew my
because now
mind.
they're all kind of doing the similar thing, so they're getting the same direction.
Just messy.
Maybe it's because we are putting such a microscope on it because Bill has kind of heightened all of our levels of watching refs.
That's part of it.
But
that's part of it for sure.
It feels like it's getting worse.
I'll tell you,
Jay.
Yeah, I'll tell you what though. You know what it is? There's no senior ref there. They're all newbies.
Yeah, there is no senior ref. I believe it's Rudy by default.
Well, Rudy by default, right? But they don't have like an Earl or any of the WCW refs aren't there to be like, hey, roll up to me. I'll dictate the terms here. You know how you guys got to train because you always need the anchor guy to be like, this is how it's going to go here. You know, and he's in charge of the referees. But they don't have one
backstage being that guy though.
Somebody, but there's no actual ref doing it. It's mind blowing.
Maybe it's Terry Taylor.
It's just so consistently awful.
Crazy to me though. Crazy how it just. Like I said, we're heightened. You know, you're right. We're heightened because we've made it a point to look for it. But
Bill's turned all of us into fucking.
He totally has.
Big time.
I go back to that was one of my beefs Like
Yeah.
I like there were the dusty finishes and all that, but the refs like the Rudy stuff that was an issue with me 19 years ago. That's not new.
David is saying he's tapping out. He's a gap, but we're gonna talk some Piper stuff. Well, Piper, we had the Piper appearance, David. He already came in,
but he keeps teasing. He's coming back again.
He's coming back. He's coming back.
He's trying to get in the building at this point still.
So we'll talk, David. He's coming back soon where we're at here. So let's definitely discuss when Piper's back, and we'll talk. Fair enough. We got it in writing, guys. But we got it in writing, so he'll be back.
All right.
But
good night, Mr. Penzer.
Good night, Mr. Penzer. Thank you, sir. But yeah, it was just the refs are just they're way off, man.
I know we're carrying on about this, but it ruins a lot of the matches. We've even seen some really great matches completely ruined at the end with particularly bad refereeing.
Yeah. We went over. There was a couple episodes in a row where it was like really good match.
D'Lo had one of them.
And then people will say, well, and in the end, they'll go back in history and say it was a dusty finish or something like that.
Yeah.
It really wasn't a dusty finish. It was just bad officiating.
Yes. Yeah. At this point in the matchup, this is where TNA does plug the first CD, which we do get a visual of later on. But But
there's two.
There's two. TNA the Music 1 and 2, which are on YouTube. Actually, they are on YouTube. The playlist of both those CDs are on YouTube, and it's all the classics, including
all the classic music.
All the classic music, including the great Scott Hall one, is on there, which is like the best. But the one that never makes it is that Kid Kash one. The one that starts off with, do you know who you're messing with? And then the dun 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 dun. So I actually talked to Garrett when he had him on the Backstage Boys podcast, and he found it on the main drive. He's like, oh, is it who you're messing with? I'm like, yes, can you please release that fucking song? He like put it on the YouTube, please. So maybe one day it'll show up. We go back again to Scott Hudson with Dusty Rhodes this time, though. Dusty Rhodes talking about who's in the limo. He's offering Jarrett his help. But did you guys feel he was rambling here? It was kind of like, I don't know where he was going with any of this.
Mine says classic rambling Dusty improv.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was just kind of rambling.
Exactly.
Yeah. But wait, Penzer's saying the first appearance is what he knows a lot about. Okay, we'll
have to do a retrospective on this.
Oh,
yeah, absolutely.
and that's right after his departure from WWE and the whole HBO interview or whatever.
Yeah,
thing.
that was really uncomfortable.
Which was very shoot.
Yeah, very shoot. Super uncomfortable.
David, if you're up for it next week, I'll get in touch. Let me know if next week works for you. We can figure it out. Let me know if that works, but I'll get in touch with you sometime over the week. We'll see if we can get you in next week.
There you go.
Nice.
Yes,
but yeah, he was there. I mean, Dave, it was off the book tour. It was off the book tour. I saw him. I met him on the book tour that day, like a week before this all happened. So that's awesome. And David was his tour manager there. So we'll get the story. If you're up for it next week, David, let us know, and I'll get in touch with you. But yeah, just Dusty rambling. I know J-Bone's a big Dusty guy. What'd you think of this, Jay?
Now you talking about?
He's with Scott Hudson here, Dusty.
Oh, it's he's talking about who's in Jimmy Hart's limo. I don't know, and then he starts talking about some other stuff, and it's Dusty.
Well, it's kind of interesting the ending with that, J-Bone. He kind of says like that he's going to have his back.
Yeah,
Jeff Jarrett's back.
He's pushing to have his back. Like, oh, I want to support you. I want to be your friend. And
I'm going to be your shelter from the storm, baby.
Yeah, shelter from the storm, daddy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's so weird. It's so backwards from how it's been.
Yeah,
I don't understand the program between Dusty and Jarrett coexisting alongside the main event scene. It's weird.
Unless they're turning Dusty heel.
Why would they do that at this point, though?
There's no sense. I don't know.
It make no sense.
Yeah, here's part of the show. It feels that way.
The only reason why they would do that is if they were literally departing from Russo on TV. Because, I mean, Russo was one of the biggest heel antagonists, or whatever you want to call it,
right,
on TV. So if Jarrett taking out Russo is the end of or chapter, because I know Russo comes back at some point later on TV. if that's the end of Russo, and this is a new big, heel turn for Jarrett, then so you got the Callis Jarrett regime, for lack of better words. Do you put Dusty with him just to spice it up? I don't know. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man.
I don't understand Dusty's role here. I mean, I love Dusty. We all love Dusty, but it just, I don't get why he's inserted in the main event scene. They even had like a program with him in the belt. He's had a couple of matches. Him and Jarrett have both worked tweener. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
I'm almost assuming that they agreed to a certain amount of dates with him, and they're just they got to run him off now at this point. Like, you know what I mean?
Maybe.
Just don't forget that Dusty was one of the first members of the NWO.
No, he wasn't one of the first. No way. He came way later than NWO. He was definitely not one of the first.
Well, there was like 100 after him. That's why I said first.
Yeah, that's true.
He was in the first 100.
In the first 100.
He was like the first dozen.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know where we're going with Dusty with this.
I'll tell you, maybe due to the Hogan stuff not working out, this could be. Let's fill it with some cheap Dusty pop.
Maybe.
Yeah, like a legend. Throw Dusty's a legend.
Dusty get it out there. Get that twang going. Get that music going. But we don't know how to run this angle.
Yeah.
He's their big legend name at this point too. He's kind of
the
guy in that spot. So I don't know. It's not well done. Maybe everything's just so poorly done. Maybe you could have done this properly.
They're shifting gears. That's all.
Yeah, remember, Bound for Glory should be on the horizon right now with a Hogan Jarrett main event.
They should have been.
And it's all falling apart around them right now.
Yeah.
Like Vince is grasping at straws right now.
Because you are literally a month away from what would have been the actual date. It was.
Yeah, it does make it easier with like hindsight being 2020 to give it a lot of slack now. Looking at the last several shows that haven't been great, how fractured storytelling has been. You're right. It is easier to give him a lot of slack now.
My whole thing was like, if Hogan was going to pull out after all that build, couldn't he have at least like sent in a taped promo to really further a little bit? Like, no way, brother, you took me out, but I'll be back. Like, you never get that from Hulk. Ever.
What do you? Is this a replay of January through March 21?
Yeah. I mean, who can't tape a promo if they're like the champion just to send it in to further the storyline? It's not that hard if the company asks you to cut a single promo or
That's
something.
What I was thinking. I'm like, cut a promo to show like you're at least, hey, I'll help you cover the thing I pulled out of within a week of you guys hyping.
Yeah, the company, they put so much into you and they build you for months and months, and they really put a lot of faith in you, and they make you the face of the company, and they kind of, they want you to be their champion, and you can't even cut one promo or send, things. I don't know, man. Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. It's a huge lack of respect. Yeah, come on, Tess Hulkster. It's a huge lack of respect.
I was gonna say who's gonna beat who to that punch, because I was thinking Tessa for the same thing. It's like, that sounds familiar.
We'll go to a match after this. The red shirt security, Northcutt and Wilson taking on Erik Watts and Don Harris. Again, Watts trying here. The red shirts look very detached. Like they just weren't like that. Ryan Wilson's like completely. I don't know what's wrong with that guy. Like, he's just like, huh? Am I a wrestler?
He's
just like
always out of it.
Well, they put a camera on. He's like, huh? oh, we on? Oh, I guess I gotta do it. But I don't know where they found this dude, but he definitely didn't want to be a wrestler. Northcutt tries,
Mine says this match is full of pedophiles and racists. That's what my notes say.
Oh, it's Northcutt and
you're 1-1.
1-1, yeah, one of each team. Yeah.
Don Harris, yeah. Oh,
at least you balance it out with with Watts being a good dad and everything, an honorable guy.
Watts has tried so hard.
It's all about the Watts.
Gotta love Erik Watts.
I want more for Erik Watts.
I wanted more. I want justice for Erik Watts. Can we get a T-shirt on TNI? Justice for Erik Watts. J-Mo, would you wear that shirt?
Absolutely. Yeah,
justice for Erik Watts.
I will say this. You pay attention to the crowd in this one. That guy still gets a mega pop.
He does.
He does.
He really
He's
does.
over.
He's over. He is over.
He's over.
Well, he had his own
What's
section.
over?
He was an early section guy.
Yes.
Like the Erik, like the Hail Sabin crew. I assume it's the same guys, honestly. The
But
Hail
he-
Sabin and the Erik.
he
bands.
connected with these people though. They liked him, and
Yes.
I think they all wanted more for him too. Like he never got a fair shake with this story, man. And
This match is a good microcosm of that. Look at what he's got to work with here, and it kind of sums up his last several months in the company.
It really does.
What happened to our favorite Goldilocks storyline? Is that already gone out the window?
Well,
again?
she appears in this match out of nowhere.
And she didn't come out with anybody, right?
No,
she came out at weird.
Callis. She just comes out and gives one to Don Callis. Slaps someone. That was great.
But even West, like Goldilocks, I don't think she was even on the run sheet. Like, where the hell did she come from?
She jumped.
That's like every one of her things right now is like random. It's like, oh, and by the way, that Goldilocks showed up. What?
And she's not alone. I mean, it's all over the show that we get this. Like Don Harris in this match, though, he looks like shoot pissed, or that he's really trying to get like a full-time job back. Because
he totally is.
Dude, he is working hard on these guys.
He's working real hard. Like that dude is all out.
Yes, very hard in this match.
Trying to put that interrogator segment behind him.
Shit.
Yeah, I feel like for as hard as he's working, you got Ryan Wilson trying as hard to be dead weight, and it counters each other, and so there's a critical, massive shit match.
There's a camera shot when they introduced the red shirts, and they camera Ryan Wilson.
Yeah,
and he's just like, huh?
Yeah, it's from down real low. I remember.
Yeah. Huh? Hey, we got. Is there a match going on? Golly, I guess I better get ready. I better put my red shirt on and get out there and have me a match. Like he just looked like he's like, what the fuck? Fucking wake up, dude! Like you're on TV. What the hell's going on here?
Get on the apron. It's time to work.
Like
Match time!
For as hard as Northcutt's like into shit, like, this guy's like, well, golly, that's I'm working for a good old Jeff. Yeah, total yin and yang, man. Shit.
Big time.
But anyway, so
and Watts gets demolished on the way out. Let's move on from this shit segment.
He gets demolished.
This match and this segment is real bad news for Watts. Like,
it's just like you said, it epitomizes the mess that they turned the Watts story into. And I wish they did it. I wish they got a fair shake.
Do you remember when he came out before he had the title of Director of Authority and hit that choke slam and cleared the ring?
Yeah,
and just
dude.
looked like a fucking badass and got up on the ropes, and he had like the cool look and the sunglasses on after the choke slams. And it was like, man, dude, Watts is badass. And now, like 6 months later, his character's completely lost. How did this happen?
Big dude, like he's a tall, good-looking guy. Go ahead, Jeff.
I popped for at the end when Don Callis actually gets physical with Heavy D and Erik Watts at the end there.
Yeah,
and then they save Callis, and Watts has got Callis is just like scrambling to get away, and his feet are like Flintstone. It's hilarious. It's so comical. I was like, oh my god,
Callis is so good.
He's
he is great.
His charisma is through the roof, and his facial expressions. It's like he's a little more laid back in his character now, but he's much more animated here. Almost 20 years earlier. It's
hell of a bow tie.
It's a riot.
Hell of a bow tie.
What a scumbag!
Same guy. Look at that. Same guy. It's funny, isn't it?
Crazy.
Same energy.
Same energy. We go from that to a long recap of the Jarrett Hogan thing. It was like 10 minutes.
Hey, when you have Hulk Hogan footage, you got to play it every week.
Milk it like a cow, my friend. Like, you paid this guy for a thing he pulled out on. Milk every little bit of that shit that you can, man. Then we go to the in-ring. Today is with Jeff Jarrett. Now, this is interesting. Bill, why don't you set up the letter by a guy from New Jersey here. Go ahead and set this letter up here.
Yes, there is a letter. Well, first he talks about Like it's October, baseball, the fall classic. And they talk about Mr. October, and he's Mr. October, won the title, took out Hogan, all that. Then he starts going over a letter. Well, no, it was an email, a printout of a fan email. Yeah, so he starts reading about, and it's glowing. It's like, Jeff, you're the best. You like you're taking care of business. Well, first he starts. I've bought every TNA pay-per-view. Yeah. And at that point, we only know there's a few people that did that. So I'm like, Trent's on the list. It could be Trent. It could be Dave.
I'm like, did Dave or I write a letter to Jarrett?
I was waiting, but then they started glowingly talk about Jeff Jarrett. I'm like, that's probably not Trent glowingly talking about Jeff Jarrett. But I'm like, maybe Dave, since we don't know. But I know he's a big Raven guy, so probably not.
He's a big Raven guy, yeah.
So he's talking about everything that, like, it was great taking out Russo, which TNA, you got to see his reaction. Like, I think he even says, like, damn right, like, not on the mic, but, like, he mimics it. So he was like, yeah, fuck Russo. That's kind of what he did. So I was like, all right, Mike, go on. But he goes through the rest, and then he's like, taking out Hogan, love what you did to Jimmy Hart, and, like, kind of keep it up, and it's signed Joey from New Jersey. And then today's like, no, that can't be. And then he gets one of the TNA, if I should have, like one of those Jeff Jarrett. He's not happy with him for questioning Joey from New Jersey, like he toesn't exist.
He's like, today I'm really getting sick and tired of you.
Yes, that's what he says.
Why you?
And then we get our the former champion comes out.
AJ does come out here, yes. And what does he say? Let me see. What I like what Jarrett says to him though, because AJ wants a rematch, right? He wants a rematch at this point,
and he says you got to start at the bottom, like he got put at the bottom when he lost the title.
I do like this though. I like the defense of the X Division here because Jarrett's like, start at the bottom, go back to the back of the line, and why don't you go enter the X Division Invitational? And he goes, oh, you mean the X Division that put this place on the map? That X Division? And I was like, oh, okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
And then you get an intervention here, Jay. Dusty comes out on this one, and it's just another ramble session. What the hell's going on here now?
Oh, the fact that all sorts of security come out and try to pull Styles out of there because it's like the regular black shirt security, and then the red shirts come out. It's like, wait a minute, they're working together now. It's so wonky.
Yeah, that was messy.
Like, what the hell? I'm like, wait, shouldn't it be the red shirts coming out to get AJ and the black shirts pulling off the red shirts? But then that goes into another. I don't know.
But hey, well, hold on now. We can't gloss over the fact that when Dusty gets in the ring, Double J knocks off his hat.
He knocks off his hat. He mocks him, and then he walks off.
He wants the title shot because he says, he comes out and says, well, you'll give anybody in the back a title shot, right?
Mm-hmm. And
then they're like, oh, 3-time NWA champion, Dusty Rhodes. And then he's like, well, a worthy competitor, Dusty. Come on, man. You kidding me?
You kidding me? Yeah, and then he walks off, and that was it. So, I mean, we already had the match, though. Like, Dusty already had well, not against Jarrett, right? He had the match against AJ.
Not against Jarrett. Yeah. But it almost feels like I said, I think this segment is where I'm like, maybe this is why Dusty's being used. He's the name in case plans don't work out again. So you at least have a name to go against Jarrett.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a mess.
There's no other reason for Dusty to be involved in this. Mm-hmm. It has to be that contingency plan.
Yeah, that was a mess. But we'll see where it goes. I'm sure it's going to lead to a match. We go back again to Scott Hudson in the back with Glen Gilberti and Simon Diamond, Johnny Swinger. And Glen's like, this is great. He's like, head against the wall. He's like Glen, you got things going on at the AMW. He's like, I got 5 women running around on me. I got the Yankees lost. I got this AMW problem, and you want to know what I'm going to do about it, Hudson?
Is that a country song?
He's saying it in a country, like a southern voice. He's like, I got 5 women running around on me. The Yankees lost. I was like, what the hell's going on here?
Well, he's done that a few times. He's become like a little southern cowboy all of a sudden. Glen.
Siaki walks up. Glen says, you want to prove yourself? You want to get back in the game here? Why don't you handle my little AMW problem? Siaki's like, me and Ekmo got a match. I'll talk to you later. And then and then what's that thing that happens at the end? Do you guys catch this? It's like Simon looks at Hudson's like, you got a problem? And the Swinger's like, yeah, he's got a problem. You have a problem? I don't have a problem. You have a problem? I think you both have a problem. I was like, did nobody yell cut? And there's like filling time.
Did they do the close up of the belts?
Yeah, they're just trying to like beat. They're like we're fine. This goes the one with the problem.
Yeah,
they're like we're the tag champs. We're good.
It's always great.
We're good.
I
really scissor.
I cannot take Johnny Swinger seriously in this role. Like
as a bad guy, as like a heel.
I just can't anymore. It's not possible.
After Swinger's Palace,
it's not possible.
No way.
Never.
I can't see him as a heel ever again.
Never.
No way.
Nope.
No way.
Nope.
He's the lovable loser.
This retroactively doesn't work for me. It probably worked at the time.
I am pushing like crazy to bring him into AEW. I am like relentlessly like.
We still need the return of Johnny Swinger on a working line on the show.
Yeah,
I know, on a working line. I know. We definitely got to do that, man. Shit. One day it'll happen.
And speaking of one day happening, because we know we normally get visits from our friend Sean Solomon Wheat, who puts in these random dream matches. I don't think he even knows one of the names he mentions in his dream matches will be on the show tonight.
Yes.
Yes. A little hint.
Yeah, one of them is on there tonight.
You're going to get part of one of your dream matches, Sean.
We go to the match. It's Ekmo and Siaki with Trinity, Mark. Huh? Trinity's out there.
Man, Trinity's not looking terrible tonight, too.
Not at all.
The little boob window on that outfit, big fan.
I would say she's not as risque as normal, though.
No, not as normal.
Doesn't look like she got painted into it tonight.
No, she's still.
I mean, they can't all be great nights. Like this is still a good one.
They don't show her on camera much. I forgot she was out there.
This was when that Maria Kanellis used to be in TNA and Impact, and then I would see her at other shows, like maybe indie shows in the area. I would call her, it's family friendly Maria tonight, because like she wouldn't be wearing the same revealing gear she would on TV, and that's what kind of. For Trinity, I consider this almost a family-friendly Trinity tonight.
Good point. Maybe because they had more kids because of the Hogan thing,
Maybe, but then there were the cage dancers.
Yeah, that's right. You still got the cage dancers. But they're in Halloween.
She still had a boob window on a halter top.
That's sure she did.
On a midriff. So there's not a lot of that.
Come on, Mark.
Yeah.
They're taking on Doring and Roadkill.
In 2003.
It's true. Doring and Roadkill. Not a long match. Siaki and Ekmo win. This is standard.
The Doring Roadkill pushes over.
It's done.
This segment before this murdered the crowd. The crowd is so flat at this point for this match. I felt bad for these guys actually during this. Yeah.
Yeah, for them to take this was tough.
Well, they're waiting now till the end of the show to find out about the limo.
Right.
They've already built that in. Wait.
I mean, this match, like in-ring work aside, it was just a bad spot on the card.
Yes, but something here though. What do you put here? Something has to go.
You had to sacrifice somebody.
They're the sacrifice, and they tried. But that's it. I mean, standard thing. Siaki tells Disco afterwards that next week the Country Cowboys are done. So
that got some crowd pop.
A little bit.
See, this is proof positive that the bookers in the back are listening to this show, because I said last week.
17 years later,
I wanted. What?
I'm
watching this. What? I'm watching this for the first time. What are you talking about? Because I said I wanted Ekmo versus Roadkill, and I might have gotten it for like I may have said I got it for like a brief second. It's like it was like the end of the match, but I got it. So I was like, oh, thanks. See, they're listening to the fucking show. You guys keep poo-pooing it. This is proof right here.
He did say that. You're right. You're absolutely right, Jay.
But it hurts to take Ekmo's splash. Ouch.
Yeah, it looks painful.
I'll say this. This looked the most like the guy he becomes up north.
Yeah.
Like that moveset was reminiscent of what he uses up north. Like the most that I've seen so far in his TNA run. Because like the splash, some of those setup moves, he's kind of developing at least the ring work of the character that he's going up north with.
He's like a pure savage, right? Like
Intercontinental champion, right? Is that?
Yeah.
Champion, yeah.
He gave Roadkill 3 minutes.
Like Palmer.
Palmer. What about Palmer? A little mid show thing. Guys, if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Also, if you're watching on Twitch, don't forget to follow or subscribe. Share some bits. Please do that now. Hit your like button. It takes 2 seconds. It could have been done by now. Done. There you go. So anyway,
Penzer could have already been sipping something at the pool by now.
He said no bourbon though.
He said no bourbon. Sipping something. Maybe he's going to enjoy some of your beverages.
Perrier. Poolside Penzer with the Perrier.
Poolside Penzer with the Perrier. Triple P.
I can't wait.
we gotta get around the pool with David Penzer. Scott Hudson. Wait, we go back again to Scott Hudson with Jimmy Hart outside again. He goes, "Who's in the limo? Who's in the Hummer?" like where the fuck did this Hummer come from?
Hummers are us.
But here's what gets me: they dished out money for a Hummer, but nobody ever comes out of the Hummer tonight. They made poor Dixie pay for the Hummer, but nobody ever came out of the Hummer. And I was like, what the hell was this?
No wonder this thing
paid for a Hummer and getting nothing out of it.
Nothing. I mean, at least you get a Hummer out of a Hummer. That sucks.
LOL TNA. This company's never gonna last.
Yeah, right. That's what all these idiots were saying. Then they're never gonna make it past.
Never gonna make. Hey, you know what though? To be fair, there are points. Looking back on it, watching these shows, where I could see where some people might think that there are a few episodes in here where
it was like week basis, but now they're using DVDs or bobbleheads. Who knows what's next right now?
Yeah.
There's an investment at this point. 1 year in, there's absolutely an investment.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
We go back to the arena, back to a match. It's Kid Kash and Abyss in a first blood chair on a pole match, very Russo-ish. Kid Kash, though, is wearing a Violent by Design t-shirt, which I think is great. But as I revealed after, it was a Jedi Mind Tricks album, which was out at the time. So Jedi Mind Tricks was a band of our group at the time. It was the name of their album and tour. So but interesting to see that. It's definitely a screen grab, Mark. If you want to grab that, that is a great.
Actually, I have them. Hold on.
Do you have? Did you grab that? I'd love to get that screen grab and tweet it out.
Someone posted it in Discord too.
Can you grab that? Because I'd love to put that out and be like, it looks like somebody set the tone back in 2003, and
then tag them all, tag the whole crew.
Oh, the whole crew, baby! I'm gonna do it from the show. We're gonna do it from the tweet out. Did somebody put it on Discord?
Skin Lab.
Skin Lab put
this
on
is
Discord?
130 Edge though. This is different.
What are you talking about? Where are we at here? I don't see it here. Oh, is there a throwback?
When he turns around in the ring, that's the back of the shirt.
Yeah, there's the front.
But the front is Violent.
Oh, there it is.
Oh,
is that your screen grab, Bill? Where's that?
Yeah, that's my screen grab.
Can you send that to me?
A close up.
There it is. Send that to me. I'm gonna put that in. I'm gonna tweet that out and tag him from the show.
Yeah.
Let's get that out there. Because that was a nice. I mean, it's interesting to see that, right? We know what it is, but it's interesting given today's whole deal. It's interesting to see
it's
that.
Relevant
right?
for us to bring up at least.
It's funny, it's like oh shit.
Wait, Kid Kash to Violent by Design.
Dude, he should be the manager when Erik Young's active again.
That'd be a nice little go-to.
EY
back to being active and Kid Kash, an angry fucking bitter Kid Kash.
And I don't want to move EY. I don't want to move EY out of that role though.
Right now, it's perfect for EY.
Yeah,
calling the shots. Right.
See, it's just another example of Jeff Jarrett and the boys watching today's product.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's awesome though.
We've breached reality.
We have a pole match, very Russo-y, which is a pole. Kid Kash wins, but it takes forever for Posey to see the blood. This is God. It's a first blood match, and Abyss is bleeding like a stuck pig.
But he's got long hair.
Yeah, and he's got a mask on. But I'm like, dude, you can see this blood all over the place. And he's looking at him at times. Like, he's literally like, are you going to punch him again?
Well, he's like trying to move his hair to see if there's blood and stuff too.
But like they wait till they come face to face, and he's like, "Wait a minute, you're bleeding." Ring the bell. It's like, dude, you were looking at the guy the entire time. I was like, "Fuck you, Posey." Like, what?
Dude, fuck all these reds. That's again worst crew of zebras ever assembled.
And this guy's still on. They're all on TV except Andrew Thomas. Still, I mean, they're better now.
It's obviously much later, but he was obviously with them through at least the last Vegas taping. He had come back, Posey.
Came back, yeah.
And we know that somehow Rudy's up north. So I still think it's direction, a lot of it. But, man, there's direction, there's selling, and then there's the TV production. And you got to look at all of them here because we've gone over, like, the camera. I'll say at times, there were a few times for the blade jobs they're better at now. Because they don't catch those as often. Like they kind of go, let's stay in the ring and not follow the guy out of the ring that's rolling to do something on the ground.
Oh, he's in the corner. What is he doing? Get a zoom in on it. No, don't get the zoom in.
They did that way. Well, I say early up through like near episode 50. They were still missing this. Like zoom in.
Well, and I mean, and even last Wednesday, the company down south had a great show last Wednesday, but there was some camera positioning.
That's the thing.
It's all over it. I saw a clip of Jericho literally taking it out of it.
It was, dude. It was a long time too. They were stuck on it and then they had the bad camera position again. But my point is,
it's all
not to bag on them.
It's the same Keith Mitchell doing it. Son of a
back in the truck.
It's the
son of a gun.
You got to know those spots. Yeah,
there's just a lot of bad camera positioning going on here, and the same thing still happens. My point was, we still see it, and I think it's the growing pains, especially of an early company.
Because that could be evident because you're about the same time in, and you're still missing.
Yes, down south you see a lot of these. I could draw some parallels to the production of what we're watching on the throwback. The camera positioning is a big one.
J-Bone, can I throw you down off a cage and onto some pillows, like cardboard and pillows? Like, really? You wouldn't get hurt at all, clearly.
I have no problem with that spot had the camera not been where it was.
It's all about the camera angle. Like I said before, the son of Vince does that spot all the time.
Yeah.
It's the same result.
Yep.
But, man, they know how to film it where you just see him go down and plop, and then on a replay, they show it from the other angle where you don't see
the pillows.
What you saw.
It was way too exposed. This is totally off. We're so off topic, but yeah.
But these are the things you see. Like nothing like that. But it's more the refs being out of position.
Yeah.
The camera work for color spots and things like that. Once again, I think they've gotten better on some of that stuff, but they got worse with the ref stuff. Like it's almost like the refs don't know where the cameras are right now.
No.
Yeah.
It's got to be a lot of fucking pillows because I've had a few back surgeries. I'm just saying.
I saw a clip of Shotzi Blackheart mocking it in her hotel room. Did you guys see this? Where it's a video of her in her hotel room and she just goes, like right onto her bed.
I hate that Impact didn't sign her. Man, oh man. Her last match on the Indies was an Impact show. God.
Yeah. It was.
She did Bound for Glory. The Bound for Glory.
We were there.
All Glory. Right?
She was
all
in
glory.
that.
She was up in Canada. Then she got hurt.
She got hurt.
If she didn't get hurt, who knows what happens that first run? She probably gets signed. But then they brought her back, but she was already kind of gone when they brought her back to Bound for Glory.
I think she was already signed.
She was just filling dates.
She was
filling dates. She was just filling dates.
Wow. So Posey Posey sees Abyss's blood. He loses. Abyss destroys everybody, including security. We get the Shane Douglas teaser after this again.
But wait, we get a nice zoom in of Don because we haven't said it yet. Silver on silver.
So I thought I wrote it down here. I might have it later in the.
I actually didn't write it down. It's usually the second.
You see him here because he faces them, and then we get zoom ins later. But this is the first time you see the silver on silver.
Yes.
Yeah, so I wrote it down. I don't think I wrote it till the main event because they do a
They really don't do a ringside.
They didn't do the normal
At all.
segment 2 ringside thing.
Yeah,
they didn't
it's
do
usually
that.
right after the first match.
So this is the first time I saw his outfit.
Yeah, I don't have it written
over halfway through the show.
Yeah, I don't have it written down till way later, like right before the main. But yeah, he is silver on silver. Looks great, by the way, as always. Done with.
Always.
Now, what was your ensemble there, Trent, for the audio listeners?
Oh, I went black shirt, silver tie, black pants, and I should have went.
You're the man in black with the silver tie.
I show silver tie, silver. I was thinking though, if I do this in the future, I'm going to get a matching tie to the color theme of the show. This was now Take No Prisoners was yellow. I should have a yellow tie. Should have done that, like J-Bone does with the bandanas. He matches, but he didn't do it today with throwback colors.
Bandanas.
He didn't do a yellow. He didn't do yellow today.
I'm not even wearing a wrestling shirt.
No, wearing a wrestling shirt. Everybody skimped out on us except Bill over here. Bill's wearing his deal. Bill's got the relevant merchandise.
That's because Bill's going to a show right after we're done, and he just came from a show, so he had to be dressed.
It's a midnighter.
Now so Hudson talks with Mitchell and Vampiro about the dream.
Wait, you skipped the franchise package.
Oh, sorry, that franchise. Yeah, just teasing. They almost revealed it. I'm thinking now. I'm trying to remember. Also, I think the woman, because they basically set up that the woman in the room is also going to be a part of the deal. I think the woman's Tracy Brooks. So I do recall that they get together. Because I
would think so, but I feel who we saw was not Tracy Brooks.
Maybe not. I think it's because I remember franchising going Tracy with an I. I remember that very distinctly from the old days.
I feel like the guy's Julio De Niro.
No, really? I think it's Michael Shane, and I can't remember for the life of me.
Well, someone on the show last week. That's the hint we get.
Yes, and they're in the room here, but he's like, "Oh no, not yet."
They were both on the show last week.
So who is? I wonder who it is. We'll find out. I think next week. Is it saying to reveal it next week?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, my guess for the woman now. Please refresh my memory because I know I haven't watched a lot of ECW stuff back in the day. Who is the woman who came out with the franchise in his later? Francine. Thank you.
One appearance here.
Love Francine.
Yeah, she's already done. Sadly,
she's done.
Love.
Well, she came in what the first
episode.
Or
one and two.
One and two. Yeah, she was in that.
She did the women's
match. Yeah.
Over the top battle royal.
Yep.
Something I forget what the.
Doesn't matter that she looked great
on a pole. It's Francine, of course. She looked great.
Francine,
love Francine.
Queen of Extreme, man.
But yeah, she was there for a little bit. But yeah, they're basically like you said, he's setting up a new franchise that includes the head cheerleader also.
Oh, okay, so it's not Francine. Okay,
not Francine.
But that was my first. That was
my
cheerleader.
Cheerleader Melissa.
That's what I was going to say.
No, that's your Melissa. She comes in later though.
She has two characters, and
she does. She comes in two characters later on. All right, so Scott Hudson with Jim Mitchell and Vampiro.
Man, this is a lot of Hudson.
A lot of Hudson, man.
Wow.
Talks about the Dream Blood Gallows Retribution match, just setting it all up, from the take of the new church. And then we get the match. Raven versus Vampiro, Dream Blood Gallows Retribution match. It's basically a dog collar match, 4-corner dog collar match is what it is. Now, Mark, I know, is really hot about this one because he's like, fucking Vampiro, what the fuck? But I will say one spot I loved was the double chain to the center when Vampiro's in the middle of the ring and he's collared, 2 collars, and they're chained to each rope opposite, and he's literally stuck in the middle of the fucking ring. And I thought that was probably the coolest spot of the match.
Yeah.
But he was lazy in this match. He was just slow and
he doesn't do any wrestling moves. He doesn't look interested.
He looked interested. That's a better word. He looked disinterested. I don't want to say lazy. He looked disinterested in the match. I didn't get it, man.
The kicks looked weak. He's not really pulling any wrestling moves. I don't know. I'm absolutely hating Vampiro in this round.
I've been very hard on Vampiro since his debut here. I'll give him. I think he looked more with it here than he has at any other point. But I think that's just a sign of how disinterested he's been since he got here. Like, this is just feels like pure paycheck for Vampiro. He's never seemed really engaged since he got, but like at least his character just kind of menacing in the promo earlier. I'm like, okay, good. He looks good. He looks okay.
Bill's really scraping the bottom of the barrel for compliments here.
Yeah, like, because I've been hard on him. I've been ripping him every time.
He's been terrible.
He has been terrible. And this one, I'd say, is the least terrible. It was passable, but it's not Vampiro. It's like, it's such a shell of what you expect Vampiro to be. It's just, this might be one of the, there's been hyped up people that have shown up in TNA and they've been a disappointment. This might be one of the more disappointing guys that showed up in TNA.
Because the build was...
Oh, they gave him such a build.
Oh, my God. Jay, what was that build? Like 2-3 months?
Yeah. It was a long build.
Well, yeah, because you had all the mysterious appearances of the arm.
Yeah.
The arm. Yeah.
Yep.
And, you know, and I've been pretty patient, you know, with this build of Vampiros. I'm very excited about him coming into this company at this time. And I gotta say, and I know we're all critical on different levels, I enjoyed this, but not as much as I thought I was going to, because I was like, yeah, it did come off weak. I will say this though, it did come off better than I'm using my quote fingers here for the listeners on audio. It did come off better than the main event after this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the main. What a weird main.
Yeah. Yeah. This show limped to the finish big time.
Yeah.
Who booked this?
But it was weird, man. And then like Mitchell goes for a fireball, Raven ducks it, CM Punk comes out, Raven berates him like, I had him, I told you not to come out here. And he's like, what do you mean? So basically,
I feel it's a shoot too at the end where like Punk's still just like standing in the ring.
Yeah.
And Raven's like, get out of the ring.
Yeah. I gotta cut a promo here. Get the hell out of here. But what they've said was Raven's hit level 3, and now it's Mitchell. So now he's eliminated the new church. Now he gets Jim Mitchell next week.
Tough spot for Jim Mitchell next week.
It is. But this is Raven's greatest work. I mean, Raven's work here, I think, is his greatest work. His TNA stuff, I can see why they give him a DVD. You know, like the work as a collective is fantastic.
Man, we really need to sit down and talk Raven sometime, because the Raven Dreamer feud is something that we all are well versed on. We know about it. It's legendary. It's one of the all-time great feuds in wrestling, you know, objectively agreed upon by many. This run for Raven, watching it again, I'm inclined to agree that this is Raven's best run. It's hard to look at it any other way. He's so proficient in every single facet of the business at this point. In ECW, of course, he had Dreamer to work off, but Raven as Raven, Scott Levy as Raven, has found this character 100% at this point.
Fantastic.
Yeah. A main event run for Raven, I'll give him that.
Oh, I'm going to put it up, Jay. I'm going to put it up here. Hold on. We got something to display here, by the way.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to put it up here, Jay. But you go finish this thought here, though. A main event run for Raven. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like in ECW, just as a storyline, him and Dreamer, that's probably his best feud and storyline. But that wasn't a main event feud at the time. Yeah. That was a mid to upper card feud. But that wasn't the main event. If you want to say like some of that stuff near the end, but that wasn't the main event feud. But this is main event. Raven was a main eventer most of that early TNA run.
And dude, he's a very important part of the company. I mean, it's just like you said, Mark. You found the character at this point. It's it's only 2003. The Raven character debuted in 95. 95. You're talking. I mean, the character only 8 years old at this point. It's not. Oh, I mean, he really gelled it by this point, man. Really nicely.
It never ever has holes in it. Ever at any point.
Brilliant character.
Not in the ring, not in promo, not working with others. not solo, not on the mic. It just, he has 0 holes.
Now, we know the Asylum crowd is a Raven crowd.
Yeah.
When they allow them to be. Here's the question.
Yeah.
If they embraced Raven, gave him that title run early that we all thought he should have got, could he have been the TNA Stone Cold?
If you let him go, yeah. No question about it. Because he already was doing everything else.
Company? Yeah, he pretty much already was. But could he have been the one that got the casual viewers that were still lurking around? Could he have helped break them quicker than they did?
Raven's not accessible like that.
He's a niche guy. Well, let me ask Jay.
So Jay's still a niche. Okay.
Jay's a Raven and Stone Cold guy. What do you think, Jay? If you're a casual guy, how do you interpret it? Think unbiasedly now.
I want to hear chat sound off too.
And chat too, yeah. Chat sound off on this, please.
But part of me says yes, and part of me says no, just because, I mean, yeah, there are similarities between Raven and Stone Cold. Stone Cold's more, I'm just going to beat the shit out of you and let my, fists do the talking, where Raven's going to, he's going to shoot a promo and fuck your skull at the same time.
Burn down your house.
Yeah. And, so there's they both drive the same point forward, just differently. So, and then, the antagonist in that, of course, okay, so Stone Cold has Vince McMahon. Raven has, you could say, either Jarrett, or for an authority figure, you could say Callis or Russo, depending on how they spun it when, during the timeline here. It could work. I don't think as good, but it would be good, if they pulled the trigger and did put the title eventually on Raven and built it up like that, it'd be damn good.
Yeah, like, could Raven have been the face of the company that they say, no, we have to have Jarrett be the face of the company?
For a while, I mean, if they kept going from when he came in, with the whole Russo versus Russo / Jarrett, I think it could have been, at least for this brand, as big as it was at that time.
At that moment in time, are you talking about the Jarrett match? If they put it on Raven, then during the rest of the Asylum,
no, I'm not saying right now. I'm saying if they pulled the trigger at the right time.
I think so, actually. Yeah. Raven is a niche character. He doesn't have the broad appeal of Stone Cold, but you're talking relative to market. Could Raven be that guy for TNA? Yes, he could have been. Could he have brought TNA to the level to compete, with 2 million viewers? Probably not. Could he have been that guy? Yes, I think so.
He would have been a big part of it, though, because he would have been that great heel component to it. Because he's a captivating character, very polarizing, but you need a really good face to be, the protagonist to Raven's antagonist, right? Like, you would need the counterpoint to Raven, and then you could be off to the races. Like Stone Cold had McMahon, but Raven would need the counter to that.
I don't think Raven requires a foil as much as Stone Cold, because I think he's a stronger worker.
He is, around. but it's just from the sake of like story logic
to elevate the company.
You need it, yeah. You need.
That's a different question, though. That's not, could that guy be Raven? That's, can the writers' room get you to that level?
Yeah, I mean, Raven is the other guy. Like, you need the two. Raven he's the top guy. He's totally a top guy, especially at this stage. To me, he's a top heel, tweener, whatever you want to call it. But he is the guy. But yeah, you need the right. But they should have gone with the title. And then let the faces chase him. That's how it should have been.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let the faces chase. You could have had AJ chasing him. Jarrett could have chased him. You could have had Kash chasing him. D'Lo could have chased. I mean, you had such a slew of baby faces. Jerry.
They missed not until probably Moose have we seen them wait too long to pull the trigger on someone as badly as Raven.
Moose is feeling that way too, huh, Bill? Like it's feeling like it's like the Raven build for Moose.
If it's not done by Slammiversary, and he's here beyond Slammiversary, and maybe like not here like a year from then, that might be the biggest miscalculation of the company ever.
If they put too many eggs in the Kenny Omega basket, say, we'll go to Bound for Glory instead. It's like, you're done. You killed Moose.
They've got to move on Moose now.
Yeah, if he doesn't have the belt by Slammiversary at the latest,
Oh, at the latest.
I think that's when it has to happen. I actually don't want them to do it before that.
I prefer. That's what I've kind of been hinting. I don't want it to happen. Prefer, but it still has to happen. If it's if like they already have other plans for Slammiversary.
If we're talking about protecting the belt, though, I feel like it's okay to run it to Slam without damage.
Slam is fine. It's already mid-May. Like I don't care. Slam is like right here. You know, what I mean, like
Kenny's too big to be one and done. He's got to have at least a defense.
Well, he'll have two at least.
Yeah, you'll get a couple of defenses.
I mean, one successful for him.
Yeah, they'll put one on him for sure.
Because right now there isn't a defense scheduled.
No,
we got to figure that out first.
But there's two specials. Oh, he's not. He's in.
He's in a tag match. So like the Against All Odds, the June Impact Plus special feels like that could be a defense, but it's almost like you change the world title on an Impact Plus defense, or do you do it on a weekly? They've done it on the first Access TV.
But not for this. This one has to be Slam. If this is not Slam, you've killed it at this point.
Well, I'm talking about the defense. I'd prefer to see a defense on TV to get viewers for the match at Slam.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But that's what they did with the Sami Callihan, Brian Cage.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was one of my favorite TV Impact matches of the last, in recent memory.
Poolside Penzer chat is officially a meme. Thank you very much, Zach. We're gonna take that down right now.
Yeah, let's remove that.
Twitch is now banned the chat. They banned the feed.
Is Katie Ford here?
Hey. We'll talk more about that Thursday, guys. We'll talk more Moosin on Thursday, but he looks like a million.
Sorry, it just tied in so well with
it does tie in so because
Ravens feels the same.
They don't put the belt on Ray for another nearly 2 fucking years. That's the problem.
Bound for Glory time frames we're talking now.
2005, right?
2005.
Yeah.
I mean, you kidding me?
3 years too late.
Oh, God, it pisses me off.
That's a year into the TV deal. So
Did you guys see the anniversary of the Jared Raven match was up, and then they posted it like on this day in Impact history?
I commented.
And the entire comment thread was
burying him.
Missed opportunity. You guys fucked up. Should have been Raven. What the fuck were you thinking?
Absolute burial.
It should have been Raven. It should have been Raven. It should have been Raven. Everybody was going nuts. And
thousands and thousands of comments saying
can you believe? And I'm not bullshitting people. People understand this match literally had the line a mile down the road to get into. This was old school, organically built shit, man.
This could have gone down as one of the greatest NWA title changes.
God damn it!
But instead,
so much today.
But instead, you see thousands of comments saying y'all fucked up.
Y'all fucked up. Like it was like 1,000 comments.
But yeah, you liked mine. You saw mine. I commented too. I was like, y'all fucked this one up.
This bothers me more than my goddamn marriage, for God's sake. This fucking botch is worse than my marriage botch. I mean, shit. I'm still pissed off about this one. It
was everyone that was turned away that night was in that chat.
Yeah, but like we all reacted the same way when we watched it a few months ago.
Yeah.
Son of a
and originally, I can remember being fucking pissed.
I was hot, dude. I was so hot with it. I was like, I was fired up. Anyway, I was on those message boards like, you gotta be out of your goddamn mind, you motherfucker.
I just watched this for the first time a few months ago. What are you guys talking about?
I was rolling around my Sandman comics and shit.
This reminds me of that scene in Back to the Future where he's like, "Oh, this is a classic. I saw it. It's on a rerun." He's like, "What's a rerun? It's
What's a rerun?
This is a brand new episode. What are you talking about? It's a rerun."
Thank you.
All right, main event here. Jeff
Jarrett.
Yeah, I guess whatever you want to call us. Jeff Jarrett calls out Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart comes out and says, "I got a surprise for you, baby." And he says, "I got the
this Jimmy Hart is going down in history.
I got a surprise, baby. He has heart and he has desire." And it's Hacksaw Jim Duggan is the surprise. That's who was the limo. And he does the whole. I mean, he's always been over. Tough guys doing all that stuff, and I'm proud of my.
He wasn't over when he came out, man.
No, they were not yet.
Excited.
You were like, "What the fuck?"
They were booing.
Duggan?
Dude,
Last time they brought him was when the troops were invading.
Yeah, that's right. So they got Jim Duggan out. The people was like, wait a minute, it's not Hogan. So what? He fires him up with his stuff, and he's then they brawl. Then they go into a brawl. Guitar shot on Duggan. Jarrett wins. It turns into a
decent brawl, by the way. Actually,
it was a good brawl. It was a good brawl.
I didn't hate it. Yeah,
I didn't hate it. It was a good brawl.
It was the only time he was over when he did the old school and then the crowd said ho back in time. Yeah. So
which they love doing.
He is, as soon as he went like super old school,
yes,
they were with him. It just had to get to that point. It was like, oh, okay, we love that. Okay.
Well, and I think they were fucking stunned, honestly, when it was like they were expecting Hogan or they didn't know what, and they got Duggan, and it was like
Jim Duggan.
Yeah.
I've always loved Duggan, and like even I'm going back like 5 or 6 years when they were doing the Jarrett was doing the stadium GFW.
I met him on that too. Yeah, I met him on that one too.
And I had the pleasure of me because they had a whole line of like 20 people on that show. It was part of the VIP package. I mean, it really was a steal. It was just an absolute steal. And Duggan was the first one in line, and I was like, damn. Like I was a little kid sitting on my parents' bed watching Hogan as a kid, and I'm finally meeting Duggan, excuse me. And so yeah, that was cool. So I was happy with this, but I was like, wait, there's got to be something coming after this, right?
Yeah, I mean, no disrespect to Duggan. It just was not. It just was not.
It's not hope. It's not.
I'll
hope.
say this though: what a steal! What a racket Duggan does, right? He on his merch table. You're going to use his merch table. He literally goes to Home Depot, gets little like
2x4s,
not even 2x4s. I'm talking like 3x2s, right? Little like nuggets, and just signs them, and they're like $20 a pop. And people are like, fucking shit, yeah, getting all that. I'm like, what a fucking racket. He probably goes to the scrapyard in the wood section. Let me get whatever scraps you guys got. Signs it real quick, $20. I'm like, son of a gun, man. Fucking James Storm one time when I was down there, he pulls out the bottles, and he's like, man, they fucking love this shit. I'm like, dude, I fucking love that shit. Let me get one of those. He's like, I fucking get these made. They love this shit. Yeah, he's selling. He's like, man, they eat this up at the gimmick table. I was like, God, that is pretty fucking cool, man.
It's like a portal to another world. Bill, what's on the other side of your camera, man? Come on, seriously, what? I have to know what faces the other direction. Is it like, it's like some like glowing portal, like in They Live with people traveling from fucking space and shit.
It's Sonny Siaki in a glass case. Like in basketball where he had Kareem was in the glass case.
Fucking resin. Sonny Siaki.
Come on now. Desire. Yo, man, can I come on now? Have a match? They don't really remember you anymore, Sonny. Oh man, what year is this?
Base hole.
Ace in a hole, dude. Sonny Siaki is right now.
Ace hole.
Oh, he's lost at this point,
dude. It's terrible.
They try to get him back on track a little bit in 05. Little bit before he leaves. The tag stuff. He starts to kind of get back with Apollo and all that. Remember that, Jay? You were watching around that time.
That was when I became a fan. Yes, Siaki and Apollo.
They were a good team, man.
I loved it. I had no clue who these guys were, and I absolutely loved it. See, we joke about just prior to this when Siaki is part of Russo's group, and he's kind of like a dollar store version of The Rock. I don't remember sensing any of that in 2005 when he's doing his it's like almost like an X Division run.
Slams on saying he got bored from the Lowe's and he went and signed him. And I'm telling you, dude, that's what he does. It's like the biggest, best racket ever. All right, so he calls out. So he tells Jimmy, that was all you got, Hart. And he's like, no, baby, you got lucky there, baby. It's okay. And he's like, you want to know who was behind the Hummer? And it's in it right behind him. You see it emerging.
It's Mickey Mouse on meth.
Yeah. It's you see emerging behind him is Rick Steiner, the dog-faced gremlin. Is
not
fat. No, not him.
The other Steiner.
The other one.
Wait, which one was that first one again? Can I see him again? Who was that?
Play him again.
This guy.
He's fat.
Oh, not that guy. Okay,
not that guy. So it's Rick.
Fat asses.
Yeah.
There we go.
Scott Steiner, perennial favorite.
If it was Scott, it would have been a huge pop.
I'd have popped for Scott.
Like, you imagine Big Papa Pump Scott chainmail. Oh, he comes in a few years later, but
Scott, right now he's still up north, right? He's still up.
That's right. He's getting buried up north he's literally also speaking out against him up north. He's like, "Fuck you guys, this place sucks."
That was like one of the worst runs in history anywhere.
Oh, but he knew it because he didn't give a shit. He did not like him, and he was very vocal. He's like, "Why am I losing to this fucking big nose motherfucker?" Like, he was all about that shit. He's like, "I can whoop his ass right now. You want to see?" Like,
oh, Steiner and Trips. Yeah, I did not like that.
That was
I
stuff.
actually remember like not liking that, and then they did the whole Test and Stacy Keebler thing versus Steiner after that, and I just did not like it.
But but yeah, basically, I mean, they brawl. Jeff Jarrett Supermans him.
Yeah, he does.
And he just kind of was there a pin? Was there a pin on this one?
No, he clocks him with a guitar.
It double guitar shots.
Rick won by DQ.
DQ, okay. So they did call a DQ on it. I didn't catch that.
I didn't catch that either. I didn't care.
So then Jarrett's like, come on, Hart. I took both your surprises down. He's like, give me some more. He's like, it's on it. That's not enough, Jarrett. You have no idea. You might have got lucky today. I'm gonna give it to you, baby. But next week, it's you versus Sting. And then he what the hell is going on?
It's late. I gotta pee really bad.
And then Jarrett looks stunned.
But
we get a graphic though. We get the Sting.
Yeah, it wasn't like last time when Sting debuted when they were like, "Hey, Sting's gonna be here, y'all," and then they cut to black.
Sting.
Yeah,
but this was just like a Sting. Yes. It just like popped up on the screen for a second. Like,
that's the JB graphic parade right now.
I'm like, nobody ever really gets too much for Sting. Like, they don't really spend a lot to like make a Sting announce. It just said Sting. And like, that's it. We go off the air with that, and that's it, guys. Jeff Jarrett versus Sting next week is happening. So, was Sting in the Hummer? Like, what was the implication here? That Steiner was in the Hummer, and then
Hugh Morris?
Well, no, I mean, like, Hacksaw was in the limo, Steiner's in the Hummer, but I called another limo to pick up somebody, and it's going to be Sting.
It'd be a
helicopter. You got Dino to go pick him up.
They're throwing a lot at us, though, around this point. There's a lot to absorb here.
These shows are so busy.
They're trying so desperately now to recover from Hogan. What could have been with the Hogan thing. So it's like, okay, how do we make up for that? Okay, well, let's throw some veterans in there at Jarrett. They'll get a little pop, and the crowd will be like, all right. Because they had to have known the reaction that these guys were going to get. They know that, especially guys like Duggan down south, he's well loved.
Yeah.
But he's not going to be anywhere close to what Hogan would have got. The freaking banners, the signs are in there. Hogan.
Which he got in 2010. So like, you got the full.
And so, what would be close to that? And to be honest, as far as people who were available at that time, it's Sting. That is it.
No, say it the right way, Jay.
It's Sting.
J-Bone's coughing. He's losing his breath. But that's it. That's the episode. So you're right. A lot at us to make up for losing Hogan here. I still say you could have appeased everybody by just sending a Hogan promo. Could have been next week, Sting. But you could have easily just, had Hogan film a promo and would have put everybody. He's like, hey, brother, I forgot what you did to me in Japan, dude. But I'm going to see you, next week or next year or whatever.
How hard is it to record video promo that your boss asks you to send? How fucking hard is that?
Like if you give a shit, you'd record it. That's how.
Yeah, like unless you just don't give a shit about the company at all or what they've done for you, you would just fucking record the promo.
Especially if you're the one pulling out.
Yeah, it makes you look really ungrateful for everything.
Like if I pulled, I'd be like, hey, what can I do to make up for this? You know, I pulled out, you guys hyped it. Let me do something to make up for it. Cut a promo. You know, I can film a little backstage thing at home, whatever, you know. But nothing. You don't get shit. Should have been a sign to not sign him in 2010, I guess.
Right.
But that was it, man. And I think you're seeing a little bit of like their originals are getting pushed down the card in lieu of this. You know, like Siaki or not, but he's like nothing at this point, right? Kid Kash,
chaos right now.
Mid-card stuff. You know, Raven's got a strong program, but that's by design because you could tell Raven booked that basically. You know, he leveled it out like I'll go through them each week, you know, get a couple weeks out of that, build it to this, build it to that. So Raven's awesome because he knows he's in such control of his character. But I feel like, and then the tag team titles, it's a dug-in feud with Simon and Sawyer, but it's good because it's got a lot of facets.
It's stable.
It's stable. X Division's a mess at this point. Heavyweight's kind of messy at this point. Heavyweight X are messy. Tag is great. Raven's great, and there's
a lot of talent in catering at this point, or just making run-ins. I think they might be a little bit swollen on staff and talent. It's right here, maybe because the shows are very hectic and very busy, and there's a lot going on, but not a lot of storylines running concurrently. So.
Yeah, and I missed some of the focus on the originals at this point. But you know, I think it's cyclical enough that it'll come back around. Knowing what we know, we're closing out to it towards the end of 03, going into 04, which is a big turning point year. Well, as we know, Bill, right? That's the year where the TV comes into play.
Yep.
Fox Sports. It's we are going to enter the final year.
Final year of the Asylum.
Of the Asylum, you know, we're getting there. Yeah. So. And this is October 30th, and we're in November now. We're coming up, so
yeah, we're beyond the halfway point.
Does the Asylum in Tennessee go all the way up to TV, or do they
transitions right to Fox Sports? Yeah, I think there's one carryover week. I'm going to be honest with you. I think there's there was one in the can to get us to Fox. I think I remember this at the time. And that was it. Like when it was done, it was done.
We'll flip the switch, and that was it.
Yeah,
off to Florida we go.
And that was it, man. When they went to Florida, they went all in. They were gone. They didn't come back to the Asylum. They may have done a house show. I'm not sure, Bill, but I think it wasn't until Homecoming. I'm gonna guess.
Oh, you don't think they came back? Ooh.
I don't think they did. I don't think they even did a house show, and I could be very wrong on that.
Because our war house show tours, I almost find it tough to believe they never stopped back again.
So the last one, guys, just for reference, the last one is 111. We're at 70. So there's 40 more weeks of this. We're under a year.
Oh, that's like okay. That's like 2/3, 3/4 of a year almost.
And imagine a couple of those are going to be those holiday ones like we faced the last time. There's a couple of holiday carryovers, but the last one's 111. So it's not a ton, man. I mean, 40 more we're at roughly. You know, take out the holidays, we're at 40 more, and that's. I'll tell you right now, September 8th, 04 is the last one, and they go right to Fox Sports. Yes, because they coincided it with school starting back up. That was the idea because it was on at 3 p.m. It was after school.
I remember that weird time.
It was dude, it was a hit. It was a hit because they pitched it as a kids come home from school on a Friday and you'll watch TNA. And it actually did pretty good on Fox Sports. That was the idea. It was an after
I would
school
spend all day Saturday on my PS2 making the characters in my video game.
You're like Mikey Bats, here we come. You know, like all the D-Ray 3000, like all the choppers.
I specifically remember like one afternoon, and I made Kaz and Kazarian like all in one day because they were a tag team and they were all in green, and I specifically remember that.
That's all. Kaz and Kazarian? Is that what you said?
Or excuse me, Kaz and Michael Shane.
Oh shit!
It looks like they returned for a house show in 2010.
They did. Okay. But then that was it.
Then it looks like the next time they're back is 2017.
Oh, so they did do a couple of spots. Okay. So it wasn't told. They didn't totally abandon the place, I guess.
Nah, but they did not go there much. Sort of like how they treated the Impact Zone after they left there.
Yeah.
They went back for the one show.
That was it. Well, that's it, guys. That's number 68. A busy episode. Not a ton of substance, but enough to carry it to 69. Which, 69 show. I mean, based on what they set up with Sting, 69 should be a huge episode. So,
69.
Man, I got my Ekmo splash on Roadkill. I was happy.
That was a brutal spot, man. Whew.
But that's so we'll see what happens next week. They set up pretty good. But we'll wrap it up. Let's start getting it wrapped up. So next week, guys, don't forget it'll be number 69. We'll do that next Tuesday. Every week, as you guys know, our show schedule is Tuesday throwbacks. Every Tuesday night, we do a throwback from the NWA-TNA days, and then Wednesday is TNI UKs. They will be releasing a new episode tomorrow, about noon Central, and about 8 p.m. UK time. I'm sorry, 6 p.m. UK time. And then Thursday is the flagship show, guys, post Impact Wrestling. We do the post-show full breakdown review. But before that, full watch-along on Twitch, twitch.tv/Total Nonstop Impact. Bill and J-Bone got you on a watch-along, hang out. The play counts you guys get are great. You guys have a great audience on there. So you guys, it's a party. It's absolutely a party in the watch-along, huh? Like you guys have
sometimes even the Iceman's watching.
Iceman's, and I mean, everybody's in there. It's a blast. So join the party during the watch along. We're officially co-streaming it, so you're part of the Impact stream on this one, guys. So it's a co-stream. Come hang out with the boys, and then as soon as it's over, we go live with the review. So, but that's our weekly schedule, and then this week is going to be Under Siege week. So we will be live with an Under Siege review post Under Siege on Saturday. So come check that out, everybody. Under Siege Saturday. Are we gonna? Well, I guess we'll decide. But we're gonna do a reaction for Under Siege, or is that we do a reaction for the specials, or are we just gonna do a co-streamed? We're definitely gonna do a simulcast between Smash and TNI for the review. But
yeah, we'll definitely do a review. It depends. I don't know.
We'll see if we're doing a reaction.
Schedule's been so crazy.
We do the reaction for the big stuff, and then we'll do a review for all of them. So we'll do a simulcast.
And I'll do a preview sometime later this week, but my schedule is like all over the place. Like I can't even do my normal AEW stuff tomorrow night.
All right, no worries, man. But yeah, let's get our plugs.
We'll figure it out.
Cool. Let's get our plugs in here. Mark, where can people follow you?
Mark World Order, MARKQ World Order on Twitter. That's it. Oh, and you can also find me at We Talk Impact.
Yeah, that is Mark. If you see -M, that's Mark.
Yeah. A lot of times, I don't always use that, but I do try and use that.
Well, when you do the possessive I was doing this, you'll let people know.
Yes,
the I is Mark.
You can usually tell me. You can usually tell it to me from my hashtags too.
The hashtags are the emojis.
Or Tasha gifts.
Tasha gifts or the smoke emojis. It's usually Mark.
Yes. True story.
Bill, where can they get you?
On the Twitter and the Instagram at my name at William M. Gardner, GARDNER.
Very nice. J-Bone, get those plugs in.
You can find me over in that other little podcast called Smash This Podcast.
Oh, Bill, where were you with that? We needed the whole Smash.
Little Smash. Okay. All right. Thank you. A little rusty this week. Schedule's way off. I'm behind on schedule on a lot of things. I'm trying to catch up, hopefully by the end of this week. No promises though. But I'm usually on whenever this podcast is not on, in between stuff. Cover AEW and some Impact news and some other things, documentaries and whatnot. Dark Side of the Ring, that's coming. I gotta catch up.
Oh, you gotta do that, Jay. That'll get you some attention for sure.
Yes, yeah. That's catching up on the parts 1 and 2 of the Brian Pillman story. Very good stuff. So then I'll do a preview sometime later this week for Under Siege. So stay tuned for that. You can find it on YouTube and Twitch and all the socials, the Instanet, the Facebook, and that Twitter box, and also on audio on anchor.fm/Smash This Podcast.
Very nice, guys. You get me at Trent Zuberry on Twitter. Also, I'm available on the Backstage Boys podcast that I do with Basil every Monday. Look up the Backstage Boys podcast, the BSB show. That's insiders kind of production podcast that we do, talking about the business of the business a little bit. So check that out. This show at We Talk Impact, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, guys. Give us a follow. Just type in Total Nonstop Impact. It comes right up. All audio platforms, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon. Rate, review, subscribe, guys. Give it a quick rating. Give it a thumbs up. You're watching on youtube.com/Total Nonstop Impact right now. Give it a thumbs up. Twitch.tv/Total Nonstop Impact. Give that a follow or sub. Make sure to connect with us. We're always doing something. You want to be notified when that's going on. Definitely feel free to cheer bits. Use your Amazon Prime subscription. You get a free sub with Amazon Prime every month. Make it ours. Make it smash. Keep it in the family over here. We always like, you guys. Don't let that go to waste. Is what I always like to tell people. If you have Amazon Prime, you get a free sub. Like, don't let it go to waste every month. So use it for us or whoever you want to use it for. What is it? ProWrestlingTees.com/Total Nonstop Impact. Pick up your t-shirts. The Owl and Mike t-shirt is flying off the shelves. Go pick that up, guys. And don't forget, TNI UK drops tomorrow. Bison, Joe, and Steve. They'll be back with a week in review. And Thursday, we'll be back with the flagship show and a watch along. So stay tuned with us. Follow us on the socials. We plug everything there. You need to know where we're at. Usually Twitter at We Talk Impact is kind of the main source of truth. So go there. Engagements. Discord link in the description below. Keep the party going between shows on Discord. Join the Discord. Anything else, boys? Am I good? Got it?
That's it.
Awesome.
That's it.
Good.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. We appreciate hanging out. Everybody stay safe, stay warm. It's still cold as shit in the Midwest. I don't know why that is. It's May 12th. But stay warm, guys. Have a good time. It's tomorrow's hump day. It's almost we're almost to the weekend. We're almost to the weekend, guys. So enjoy the rest of the week. Get through it safely. We'll see you guys on Thursday night for Impact on Access TV. Have a great night, everybody.